The Supreme Court has ruled that a Trump-era federal ban on bump stocks, gun accessories that allow semi-automatic rifles to fire more quickly, is unlawful. In a 6-3 ruling along ideological lines, the court's conservatives held that an almost 100-year-old law aimed at banning machine guns cannot be interpreted to include bump stocks, with Justice Clarence Thomas writing for the majority that a firearm equipped with them, with that accessory, does not meet the definition of machine gun under federal law. The Biden campaign is reacting in a statement saying, quote, weapons of war have no place on the streets of America, but Trump's justices have decided the gun lobby is more important than the safety of our kids and our communities. Joining us right now, Senator Richard Blumenthal of Connecticut. Welcome, Senator. Your reaction overall to the news today?
My reaction is that this decision is completely wrong-headed, scandalously misguided in legalizing machine guns, which Congress sought to prevent in that 1934 law. It's not a Second Amendment decision. It's a resolution of questions about a device that makes semi-automatics into automatics, in other words, machine guns. And what it shows is that this court puts its right-wing political agenda above public safety. It will likely unfold and release the floodgates for countless other similar devices that turn semi-automatics into the kind of killer that enabled the Las Vegas shooter to kill 58 people, wound 500 with the single pull of a trigger. That's really a machine gun, and that's why this decision is so desperately wrong.
Well, and this ruling, as you know, prompted a vigorous dissent from liberal Justice Sonia Sotomayor, who wrote, when I see a bird that walks like a duck, swims like a duck, and quacks like a duck, I call that bird a duck. A bump stock-equipped semi-automatic rifle fires automatically more than one shot without manual reloading by a single function of the trigger. Because I, like Congress, call that a machine gun, I respectfully dissent. And she, sir, even took the rare step of reading that summary of her dissent in the chamber. How unique was that?
It is very rare for any justice to actually read an opinion from the bench. I've argued 4 cases in the United States Supreme Court. I follow its work pretty closely, and a justice reads an opinion from the court when she or he cares deeply and believes that the majority is so far wrong that it has to be corrected in that public way. And the only ones really happy here should be the criminals and the mass shooters, because no self-respecting hunter or recreational shooter would use a machine gun to go hunting. And in fact, you know, Alex, the NRA initially supported the bump stock ban. So did Donald Trump. They've since reversed themselves. And it really is a travesty for Amy Coney Barrett, one of the justices, to say we're not political hacks. Well, she's going to have to say that a few more times, because they're acting like politicians in robes. And it just puts in stark relief the consequences of the upcoming election in terms of what is necessary now, which is legislation. We need legislation. I've advocated it from the beginning to ban bump stocks. Congress should act.
Will Congress act, though? I mean, look at the politics of all of this. What are the chances Congress acts? The Senate, let's start with the Senate.
Well, Alex, you know, I have hope. I couldn't come to work in the morning if I didn't have hope that perhaps my Republican colleagues will take a few baby steps, as they did in the bipartisan Safer Communities Act passed a couple of years ago, bump stocks, banning them, providing for safe storage, and Ethan's Law, like we have here in Connecticut, that prevents suicides and kids from harming themselves, stronger red flag laws. These are kind of minimal steps, but bump stocks ban is certainly among them. And I have hope that maybe if we put gun violence prevention on the ballot this November, make it an issue, raise it to the top of people's issues, I think we can perhaps persuade my colleagues that they have to move in this direction. But we've created a political movement. We need to energize that movement. And I believe this decision may act a little bit like maybe the Dobbs decision did for abortion in mobilizing and galvanizing support for gun violence prevention.
Well, look, I very much appreciate the hope that you carry with you every day when you walk into your office there on Capitol Hill. Senator Richard Blumenthal, thank you for your time with us.